insatiable force that brought Alfred the Great to his knees. But some men can only be pushed so far. The year is now 878 AD. Whilst Norsemen settle land they once pillaged, Alfred of Wessex seeks to unite the Isles under one banner. But here stand a new wave of the ambitious and hungry, ready to stake their claim to Britannia. Kings will rise. One will rule. Sega. Sega.
Give me back my legions! Arminius will betray Rome. We must turn back.
Arminius? A traitor? I think not.
We should have destroyed Carthage, every man, woman, and child, many years ago.
Enough! Saguntum is lost, and our Western allies have failed us. Where was the last report of his whereabouts?
My spies in Iberia tell me his fleet has sailed. We must expect an invasion at Massalia!
Let him speak!
This is
Some men live a simple life, while others have a fire that threatens to engulf the world. I do not know when the fire in Napoleon first burned. Perhaps he had always had a destiny, but sometimes destiny can use a little help or even a revolution. The old ways were drowned in a tide of blood. A man could be whatever he wanted if he could weather the storm. In 1796, Napoleon was sent to command the army of Italy. We knew that Austria would fight in Germany. We knew the Italian campaign had become pointless. Napoleon thought differently. That was his talent. I will lead you through the most fertile plains in the world. You will find there honor, glory, and riches, he told us. The soldiers listened, but they didn't believe. They had long been without hope, without glory.
It is a crucial time in the war between France and the coalition. With the majority of French forces engaging Austria in the Rhineland, you've been placed in command of the destitute Armée d'Italie near the French-Italian border. Faced with impending invasion from Austrian forces stationed in Italy, it is vital that you address your army's dire situation and secure a foothold in the region before setting your sights on Austria itself. Capture Klagenfurt, and your forces will have a clear path to Vienna. The stronghold of Mantua may prove to be a challenging obstacle, although its seizure is vital if you hope to weaken the Austrian position in Italy. You will also face resistance from Austria's coalition ally, the Kingdom of Piedmont, Sardinia. Subjugating this nation, along with any other Italian states that stand in your way, will ensure you sufficient resources to crush the Austrians and overthrow the coalition once and for all. The Missions tab gathers together information on active and archived missions for easy reference. Look here to check the time remaining for completion, or read the details of a mission again. Each nation has a set of predetermined territorial conquests that it must complete in order to attain victory. These are displayed here, along with an indication of the turns remaining to complete your campaign. This panel shows statistical information about the selected region. Your region capital is the central city for control of a region. Notice that there are slightly different buildings available for construction in the region capital than in towns, reflecting its position as the region's administrative centre. The Government Details panel gathers together essential statistics and information for the management of your entire empire. The National Summary tab is used to display important information about the Lists panel gathers together. All armies and fleets have a zone of control, represented by the circle displayed around them. Any enemy force moving into the zone of another is liable to instant interception. This panel shows you the information about a given general working for your nation. His name, position on the map, personality traits, and attributes relating to his military abilities are all listed, along with details of any ancillary characters in his entourage. The building browser shows how successive buildings are linked, allowing you to easily plan the growth of your empire on a per-region basis. This tab shows all existing buildings in the selected town or city. There are two ways to... This tab shows all units available for recruitment in the selected town. Upgrading the road system within a region will increase its trade capability. It is possible to swap between building types anywhere there is a chain of buildings. Select the building you wish to change, then click on the Change Building Type button to the right of the review. Obedience to the system of government within a nation is measured in public order. Right-click to move your army to any part of the highlighted area. Attack by right-clicking on a rival's army or city. Merge with a friendly army by moving to the same space. The grey pips in the public order. Troops can be stationed inside a city to provide defense in the event of an attack. Whilst there, they also act as a deterrent for any rebellious tendencies among the population. When enlisting a new general or admiral, you'll be offered a choice of candidates, giving you the option to choose the commander who is best suited to your situation. They will be priced according to their capabilities and limited by the size of your empire. Planning your construction needs is essential to a successful empire. An ungarrisoned city automatically generates armed citizenry, a sort of watch to keep order. Although not as effective during an insurrection as billeted light infantry, such as dragoons, armed citizenry are well able to manage day-to-day public order problems. They cannot leave the city in which they were spawned.
It was an age of exploration, of conquest everywhere. Frenchmen traveled the world, teaching, learning, trading. Always the British were a threat. Their merchants took the best. Their ships strangled our trade. As Britain grew wealthy, France suffered. In the heat of summer, Napoleon landed in Egypt. Now, the East and its wealth would be ours. Egypt. Here, the sands whisper stories of ancient victories and glories. Here, Napoleon felt the history of 40 centuries upon his shoulders. What I have done up to now is nothing, he said. But the desert is harsh, unforgiving. Bravery alone will not keep a man alive.
After taking Alexandria from the Mamelukes, France must focus immediate attention on the Mameluke leader, Murad Bey, who will rally his troops at Cairo. Killing him is essential to victory in Egypt. It's very likely that the Ottoman Empire will soon march its armies south into their Egyptian territory. The forts of Arish, Jaffa and Accra are the main strongholds along their route, so to successfully stall their advance, you must capture each of them. Whilst the Ottoman military presence is not particularly strong in the Levant, be on your guard, as the High Porte will surely send reinforcements from Anatolia and Greece. These elite troops are trained in the European style of warfare and are known as the Nizam-i-Sedit. To make matters worse, the British have sent one of their most capable admirals, Horatio Nelson, to the eastern Mediterranean to block your escape routes. No French supplies or reinforcements can arrive while the British naval base on Cyprus is active. And remember that your enemies can not only attack you by land, but also by sea. Make sure all your newly acquired towns and cities are well defended, so that there are no nasty surprises to check French progress in the region. A gentleman is one of your leading thinkers. You can assign him to the task of acquiring technological advances through research. Gentlemen provide a bonus by speeding up research when inside educational buildings, such as schools and universities. If placed in enemy cities, gentlemen can also cause public order problems by inciting the population to insurrection. If placed in your own cities, their presence improves public order. attrition is the loss of troops from a unit due to desertion, disease, etc. In order to gain control of a garrisoned and fortified city, it's often necessary to lay siege. During a siege, your troops surround the city. Winning a battle isn't just about greater numbers. The balance of units and the commander's ability are essential.
Cible
Look at the
assiégée,
strength
monsieur.
ratio and reinforcement information
Opération de
before
siège en
committing
préparation.
yourself. But beware. If you are attacked, it may not be possible to avoid combat. The buttons at the bottom of this panel represent your battle options. Mouse over to see what each one
Monsieur,
does.
vos ordres?
Mais que voulez-vous de moi? Immédiatement. J'attends votre bon vouloir.
Oh, bonjour.
When a spy is inside a settlement, he starts to build up a spy network.
Oui,
A
monsieur.
spy network gradually reveals more information about the region it is based in, dependent on how many turns the spy remains there. After the
ne peux pas
third
le
turn,
faire.
the spy has a chance of seeing all units within the region, as if they belong to his own nation. Each turn after that, there is a chance that he can reveal further details about the region. The
Marchez!
maximum amount of information available is linked to the level of his spying
Votre
attribute.
Majesté.
Clicking on the infiltrate button means your agent will begin spying upon arrival at his destination. If he is successful, you will be able to see more information about the buildings and troops inside. As with all subterfuge actions, there is a percentage chance of
Personne ne
success,
devinera.
and failure may mean capture and execution.
Village assiégé! Les porcs pourrissent dans leur porcherie! Monsieur? Village assiégé!
A very large
Une
army
ligne de
or
bataille.
navy spread over 2 or more unit stacks may not be able to fight as a single force.
Village
A nation can
assiégé!
field a maximum of
Prêt à
20
recevoir
units
vos
on the
ordres?
battlefield at one time.
Troupes!
In this instance,
En avant!
additional units
Nous ne
arrive
pouvons
for
faire
battle
cela, monsieur.
piecemeal, joining the fray
Village
to
assiégé!
reinforce. The order in which reinforcements take to the battlefield can be determined by left-clicking and dragging, the unit on the far left being the first to take the field.
Generals deploy their forces according to rank. A higher-ranking general deploys after. Extremes of heat or cold will give a fatigue penalty to units not
État-major
used
des
to
généraux,
living and
à vos
fighting in
ordres.
such conditions. Some units are naturally resistant
de
to this
bataille,
penalty.
Retirez-vous!
Infanterie, ordre de groupe! Groupe renvoyé! État-major des généraux, monsieur! Groupe de bataille prêt! Marchez!
Dragons prêts à se battre, monsieur.
Ordre de groupe!
A glorious victory, sir, is soon to be yours.
Ordre de groupe!
Infanterie légère toute proche, monsieur.
Groupe renvoyé! La cavalerie à les ordres, monsieur! Ordre de bataille prêt! Ordre de groupe! Tout de suite! Ordre de groupe! Ordre de groupe! Groupe renvoyé! Prêt! Ordre de groupe! Ordre de groupe! Ordre de groupe! Groupe renvoyé! Prêt!
Infanterie, au rapport.
Ordre de groupe! État-major des généraux, monsieur! Ordre de groupe! Groupe renvoyé! Prêt! Ordre de groupe! Batterie au rapport! État-major des généraux!
Infanterie de ligne.
Ordre de groupe!
Infanterie de ligne. Infanterie.
Groupe de bataille prêt!
Monsieur.
Ordre de groupe! Groupe de bataille prêt!
Oui, monsieur.
Canon de 6 litres!
Sir, our general is under attack. Our men are running, sir. One of our units has used all its ammunition, sir. The men are fatigued, sir, and must rest a while.
Your army has suffered casualties and will require fresh recruits to replenish troop numbers. If an army contains a general and is in a friendly region, unit replenishment will occur automatically. Without a general, an army can only replenish within a settlement belonging to its own nation. The closer an army is to a region with fresh recruits in it, the faster the rate of replenishment will be. If no replenishment occurs, it may be because the army is in an enemy region or an area of attrition.
According to rank, a higher-ranking general
France was aflame. Napoleon gave France greatness. He gave France everything. Glory, justice, and law. Nothing was untouched. His code made justice a reality for all. I watched the Emperor at work. He was a force of nature, a storm blowing away the cobwebs. The old enemies plotted against him. Britain, Austria, Russia, and their lickspittles. Napoleon was to be removed and his flame extinguished. We worked to stop them. In 1805, all of France, his empire, prepared for war.
The treacherous British have once more conceived plans against France. Pulling Austria and Russia into a coalition, Austrian armies have amassed in Bavaria and Italy, with Russian forces already marching to their aid, whilst the Royal Navy prevents the free movement of French shipping along every coastline. Their Admiral Nelson is not to be underestimated. Prussia, so far, has stayed out of the coalition, but they will not raise arms to assist us, and the revolution must eventually be taken to them. Occupied Württemberg and Bavaria cry out for our help, and French troops stand ready to enter German-speaking lands to oppose the combined might of the Austrian and Russian armies. Conquest of Vienna and Moscow should be our main objectives, unless the meddling of other powers bids our intervention in other areas. The Policies tab allows adjustment of taxation levels for every region you control. From here, AI management of taxation and construction can be specified. Click on the button at the bottom of the panel to go straight to the region with the lowest public order. In most cases, adjusting the tax levels should fix the problem. The overall happiness of a population is split between the ruling class and lower orders, with different factors contributing to this panel enables you to view the state of diplomatic relations between nations. Select a nation by clicking on their flag. Their allies, enemies, protectorates, and trading partners are displayed at the bottom of the panel. Use the arrow buttons to toggle the map between display of the selected nation's opinion of their rivals and what those nations think of them. To enter into diplomacy, select a nation from the table on the left and press the Open Negotiations button. Their attitude towards you is displayed next to their flag. What one nation thinks of another is characterized by diplomatic relations. Very friendly, friendly, indifferent, unfriendly, and hostile. These diplomatic relations are asymmetrical though, so be aware that what your nation thinks of another may not be the same as their views on your own. This tab shows all fleets available for recruitment in the selected port or fleet, their available movement points, current status, and ship numbers. It can be sorted by each of those headings.
Russian winter. only a widow's heart is colder. Soldiers died in the saddle. Their horses died beneath them. The Grand Army died. The vultures gathered. Our enemies formed the Sixth Coalition, the Sixth, against Napoleon, against one man. We fought. It was not enough. In April 1814, Napoleon renounced the throne. Time seemed to stop. Tiny Elba was to be his island empire. He stayed 10 months. In spring 1815, Napoleon came home. He had no choice but to march on Paris. The worthless Bourbon king fled. Destiny awoke. Europe turned against us. Napoleon was an enemy and disturber of the tranquility of the world. War was forced on us. The Emperor made his plans. Go north, destroy the British and the Prussians separately before they could meet. It would work. It had to work. The British made their stands on the Brussels road, Waterloo. French cannons and bayonets would carry the day. Then it began to rain. Napoleon had wanted dry ground. He could not maneuver his artillery in the mud. On that June morning, Napoleon spoke to us. This day will decide the destiny of Europe. This day is everything. If we lose, we have nothing. Once again, the cannons would speak.
June 18th, 1815. This will be Wellington's final encounter with me. Having chosen his field of battle, the British will need to make use of their farmhouses. But Hougomont on my far left will be mine by nightfall. In my center, La Haye Sainte currently lies in the hands of the ill-equipped Allied Dutch. And on my extreme right, Papelotte. This is an excellent base from which to mount an attack on the British. Wellington's main army, however, occupies the northern part of the plains of Mont-Saint-Jean, laying in wait behind a sunken lane. This gives him a strategic advantage over me, and I will need to take some care when ordering an attack there. I have sent Grouchy to pursue the Prussians. He must hound them. But will he send word? Grouchy, he tries my patience.
cavalerie attend les ordres, monsieur. Préparez-vous à esquiver une charge.
Damned Wellington! I deny him the satisfaction of calling this a victory! I will fight on!
Waterloo. By nightfall, even the old guard was running. Dear God, that such a thing could happen. Surrender was bitter. Exiled to St. Helena, a speck of rock. I do not like to think of it. Remembered glories are sour by their very nature. Some men live and die in the shade of their olive trees. Some change the world, even in defeat.
La mort n'est rien, mais vivre vaincu et sans gloire, c'est mourir tous les jours.
companies, ready?
Without Berlin, the Prussians came to terms. I turned then on the Russians in Poland. Yet, at Eylau, something happened. My army shuddered for a moment. So they had suffered, no matter. But I had to take personal control to restore French, that is, my glory.
All sons are born in the shadow of their fathers.
But the day will always come